Awesome to have you guys back on my YouTube channel. And I have a friend of mine with me, a TASWED student, the secretary of TASWED. So let him introduce himself.
Hey everyone, my name is Amalia Bakar, popularly known as El Professor, a current Bachelor and University of Education student. I'm a I'm an educational management student, the current General Secretary of JCI in Taswid, and many more.
It's not
I'm a
easy to be
poet
a scholar.
and a writer as well. So it's actually very nice to be here. I'm very glad I could be on this show today. It's
Yeah.
my utmost honor.
And I'm giving you guys 100 over 100. Our scholar here is going to kill the topic.
I'm not a
So
scholar, point of
basically,
correction.
I'm here with my co-speaker. And the topic we're talking about is effect of inflation of students' academic performance and growth. Guys, concerning this topic, our co-speaker will be giving us few tips on that. And so, what do you think about inflation? What can you tell us more about it?
It's inflation. When I had the topic, I was like, inflation. Inflation is one of the most versatile, destructive weapon we have in the world currently.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
yeah, it's a very destructive weapon. It can be both good and bad. And it's concerning to student academic performance and growth. You just have to look into the aspect that inflation is just like a thing that can do and mar the student's life or not. So inflation generally, when talking about inflation generally, inflation has to do with a general increase over goods and services over
Yeah.
a period of time. That is what we call inflation. Inflation is just like the general increase of goods and services over a period of time.
Okay, thank you for enlightening us on inflation. And what do you think is the causes of inflation?
Mm, when talking about the cause of inflation, inflation has to do with the economic of a country. We have the major cause and we have the minor cause of inflation. When talking about the major cause of inflation, the major cause of inflation is demand of goods and services. So when people say that okay, they are actually demanding for this part, let's assume I'm the manufacturer and let's assume I'm producing biscuits and I'm selling my biscuit for 15 naira and I see that okay, people are actually demanding for more of this biscuit. So that means I can feel obliged to increase the price of my biscuits. Are you
Oh,
getting what I'm trying to say?
yeah, I understand.
So that is the major cause of inflation. When there is too much of demand, it causes
Okay.
inflation.
Yeah.
So the minor cause of the inflation is just like the future predictions of the market
But
price.
actually, if the price increase or
Mhm.
probably something, those buying before will buy fewer of it. No, they won't buy the higher price of it, right?
That is one effect of inflation
Okay.
generally. So when there is a little when there is increase in the price, there'll be a
Yeah.
little supply. It's just
Yeah,
like the law
exactly.
of demand and supply. We all know. Say the higher the price, the
The
lower the
more the
quantity
quantity demanded.
demanded,
Yeah,
and the lower the
exactly. Yeah,
price.
yeah, yeah.
So that's just it. Inflation has to it determines a lot of things in our economy. But right
Oh.
here, I think we're just talking about the effect on the student. So we should not dwell much on that. Thank you.
Thanks for sharing your exposure with us. So, which means inflation comes as a result of price markets.
Yeah,
Okay, my
definitely.
next question is this.
Hmm.
So, like, basically, we all know the youths are the future of all nations.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
how
yeah.
do you think it affects the Nigerian youths, and most especially the tertiary institution?
That's a very brilliant question.
Okay.
You know, the youths are just like the youth are very inquisitive. They feel like they want to know more and know more of everything. But let's look at this thing. In 2010, Nigeria was 37 according to the gross domestic product, according to the world ranking. In the economy of Nigeria was 37 in the world. But currently now, Nigeria is number 39. It
Oh,
means the inflation in Nigeria it has actually dropped its world ranking from 37 to 20, to 39. So
okay.
now the Nigerian youth now do not feel the need to search for other sources of living. When inflation is when you could not purchase what you purchased yesterday at the same price.
Yes,
So
exactly.
now you couldn't get what you wanted at the same price you wanted. So it means you have to find other means of survival so that you can get
So you can get
what you
what you
want.
want.
So I think the tertiary institution as of now and the youth of Nigeria as of today, they indulge in many illegal activities just to
Just to get what they want.
just to
Just to
get
satisfy their
just to
wants.
satisfy their wants.
Exactly.
So example we all know one thing that is very common within Nigeria youth of nowadays, and most especially everyone. They'll say okay, they are into internet fraudsters they are
Yeah, it's very common, like very, very
very,
common in our
it's
life.
very, very
Very, very
rampant.
common. Yeah.
So the Nigerian youth have taken the inflation of Nigeria as an excuse to indulge in various illegal activities.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. And it's really affecting our country
yeah,
currently.
currently.
So now, since we know the effects of inflation, so what is the advice you can give to a student suffering from inflation? Because this same inflation causes the low allocation in tertiary institution.
Um, a student, like, you know that a student that suffers from inflation is just like a student who could not purchase what he or she wants at the right time and at a
Yeah,
particular time. For example,
exactly.
yes, buying of textbooks, paying of school fees, and various other things
A lot
like
of
that. A lot
expenses.
of expenses. So the only advice I can give to a student who is suffering from inflation is just to ensure that um the little resources, you can make do with the little resources you have. Let's assume you are engaged in a particular skill, you're engaged in a particular activities, and we
Okay,
know we know the things that we can engage in various tertiary institutions without being illegal. For
probably
example,
like
now,
graphics.
exact. Thank you very much. So if students learn as the ability to design graphics and actually fend from it, and you
Yeah,
can sort out your little expenses, although it is not often and it's not all the time you can actually get that kind of privilege to earn money like that. But just make sure that the little things you do and your academic performance and growth is upheld, because in every institution the major aim of every institution is just to produce excellent students. So
yeah,
you have to make
exactly.
sure that you're not one of those last students. You're actually one of the best students in the school.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
just have to put in your best and ensure that not and there's a particular saying that people do say that school na scam, school na scam.
Yeah, and
School is not
exactly.
scam.
Well, like some say that probably if you're schooling and you're doing some side work, it might affect your school. Is that true?
Nah, not at all. Although it's just like your time management that really matters a lot. If you can actually manage your time effectively,
Okay.
you can. I'm very sure you're able to manage.
So
Although,
probably you're saying we should schedule our time if we
yeah,
want to do a side work.
yeah, just schedule your time. You know you schedule the time. You know you have to be in class. You schedule, okay, this time I won't be in class. This is what I want to do. I want to focus on my other jobs I have to do. So that's just it. And there's this controversies on the previous phrase I said that school and scam. Let's assume that a student that in the global world we have today, in the world we have today, a student who has been in school for 4 years and with no work experience.
Hmm.
You're in school for 4 years,
And you don't have any
you don't
work
have any work
experience.
experience, and someone who was into this particular education for 6 months and has other 6 months of work experience. If you're an employer, who are you
Okay.
going to employ? Is it the one with the 4 years of school
Of course, I'm
certificate,
going to
or
employ
the
the
one with
one,
6 months
the one that has
work experience?
experience.
And so that's just it.
So
There's a
that's
controversy on that. So
oh
I
yeah.
think on other time we'll be able to speak more on that. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. We've come to the end of the section and we really appreciate my co-speaker for enlightening us more on the topic. And
It's
of
my
course,
pleasure.
there'll be another section on this topic, so stay tuned and watch. Kindly like, subscribe, and share. Thank you.
Bye.